Hello, good afternoon, fabulous people. Thank you for coming to this wonderful event that's really looking about financial inclusion, empowering the Jamaican consumer, and about really creating an inclusive economy. I'm here from Bank of Jamaica. My name is Melanie, and I'm going to be sharing with you just the broad concept of what financial inclusion is all about and why this can actually help you to protect your money, to protect your long-term planning, and become more resilient in the face of financial shocks. So you would see the National Financial Inclusion Strategy is access for all. It's access to financial information, financial literacy that Ms. McCain spoke about. It's also access to better products. It's about empowering businesses and the Jamaican consumer. So, when we talk about financial inclusion, we want you to think outside of the box. You see the money rising up, the ideas about wealth generation. How are we going to actually make money, keep money, protect our money, and in fact invest it in our economy so that we have long-term economic growth, sustainable economic growth? What were the factors that informed this strategy? We first of all had to know that as Jamaicans, we are unique. Out of many one people, this country belongs to us. But the economy has not been as inclusive as it needed to be. So we had to overcome the barriers of our culture. We had to understand how our people actually transact business. How do they save? How do they understand information? We had to deal with the issues of income disparity, the very wealthy at the top, and those of us who are struggling in the middle, and those of us who are on the bottom trying to work our way up. Consumer awareness, which is what this is all about. We have partners from all of the financial inclusion arms across government and Bank of Jamaica. I see here, for example, the Consumer Affairs Commission, the Financial Services Commission, and we have JDIC explaining how they protect your deposits in regulated deposit-taking institutions. Why did we need financial inclusion? Because there were barriers to accessing financial products, barriers to how we use the products. We had several of us saving in bank accounts, but we weren't actually using the bank accounts. You get paid on Friday, withdraw all the money by Monday, and you leave just enough to make sure that you can meet that minimum balance, and then you're now living hand to mouth and we're struggling. That's not what it's about. We wanted to change that. So we wanted to have products that meet our needs as Jamaican people and businesses, products that are suitable for us based on our risk profile and what we had to deal with. We also had to overcome the negative perception of financial institutions and recognize that the regulated financial institutions are here to serve you. Bank of Jamaica is a bank for Jamaica, and we're about serving you. We had to have proportionate regulation. Not all of the financial institutions are the same. They're not all to be regulated in the same way. Why? Because we want to encourage competition. And you know what it's like when you have to fill out 16 forms for money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism when you open accounts. We want to change that. Depending on the product being offered, we want to make it simpler and easier for you to, in fact, open your accounts. Technology. How can you actually make payments effectively using mobile technology? Ms. McCain spoke about that. In fact, I have to big up, if I may, JDIC, because you had a mobile app on financial literacy a few years ago, and in fact, JDIC has been one of the partners working closely with us on the development of the National Financial Literacy Action Plan, which targets the youth. So understand that changes are being made. We're putting the consumer at the center of the economy. So why do we need financial inclusion? Let me give you some practical facts. As at 2014, 23% of all account holders in our deposit-taking institutions had not, in fact, used their accounts for anything other than a cash dispensary. 65% of the workers got their money in cash, and so, of course, we saved in a range of different ways, some informal that exposed them to risk of having their money stolen or lost. Only 30% were saving through a regulated financial institution. And if we had a crisis as Jamaican people, we couldn't even find $28,000 in a short-term crisis. We had to be calling our friends, getting money sent to us, as Orville mentioned, through Western Union and other money service businesses. It's a problem, Only 11% of us could actually borrow money from a regulated financial institution. You felt like when you came in, you had to have a whole list of items to give, and no one was actually understanding the nature of the business idea you're putting forward and how to assess your credit risk. And only 50% had confidence in financial institutions, and only 7% of us actually had mortgage loans. And Orville spoke to the fact that it's only when you get a mortgage, like through NHT, that you actually now, in fact, insure your home. So those of us who lived through Gilbert and lost their roof in Gilbert, there's a lot of young people who know nothing about what I'm talking about, but it's important. When a hurricane hits, you stand to lose everything you worked so hard for. That's why we need insurance, tying it all back together. So JDIC insures your money in those bank accounts, and Orville spoke about insuring your life, insuring your property. We need to have products that meet our needs as a people. So what is this all about? We are building a consumer-centric financial system. And it's all about consumer protection and financial literacy. How can we have information presented to us in a manner that we can easily understand? Several of us who have bank accounts will get a detailed booklet on fees and charges that may be this thick, and nobody reads it except the lawyers, right, Annette? Only us read it. But what we are now moving towards through the Code of Conduct is having what we call a key fact statement, which is a short summary of what are the most important contractual terms for you to understand. How is interest calculated, and gives you practical examples. That's just one method. Consumer protection. It also speaks to understanding what rights you have under the legislation and how you can access protection, better consumer complaints handling. It's about understanding the wide dissemination of information. You can go to the websites of a number of our deposit-taking institutions and find out information on fees and charges, but Bank of Jamaica and CAC have both published on an annual basis a survey, the summary of the survey findings, showing you at an easy glance what are the fees and charges so that you can shop around. Mystery shopping is very important so you can get the best value for your money. Better financing for your personal needs and for your business needs. We're leveraging our Credit Reporting Act, and our Credit Oversight Unit is here in the Bank of Jamaica booth. They can explain to you some of the benefits under that legislation, including your entitlement to a free credit report. And we're also talking about innovative digital payments so that you can stay from the security and the comfort of your home and transact business online or transact it through a mobile app and actually go to an ATM and then get that benefit in cash. That's very important. It's changing the way we do business. And of course, you'd heard me mention better consumer complaint handling, faster resolution time. Every deposit-taking institution is required to have a complaints mechanism that we at Bank of Jamaica supervise and regularly monitor them on. So what are the key actions? We have to improve consumer protection for all of the consumers in Jamaica, especially for those who use deposit-taking institutions. We are going to be developing what we call graded customer due diligence requirements. What does that mean? It means that we are moving towards having a range of requirements that you have to submit to show who you are for customer identification and also verify who you are. So you will no longer be put through the burden of every single time that you're going to open an account, you're going to have to be asked for the same exact documentation. It's going to be easier for you to transact business. As I mentioned earlier, we have in fact designed a national financial literacy action plan with a focus on the youth, and we're also creating a competitive business environment for MSMEs. We're seeking to improve the credit conditions for MSMEs with our partners, Development Bank of Jamaica, and other institutions, as well as for individuals. And so our achievements, we've developed the Financial Literacy Action Plan. Now we need to implement. We've now finally gotten the microcredit bill tabled. That has been a work in progress for many years, and it's important because there are many types of institutions that meet the needs of our people in providing credit facilities. We've also seen a wider range of housing microfinance solutions through the National Housing Trust in partnership with a number of credit unions. And we see the strengthening of the Development Bank of Jamaica's partial credit guarantee so that more small, micro, and medium-sized enterprises can in fact access financing at a cheaper price point. We're improving our market oversight of deposit-taking institutions, and we have better centralized data gathering to measure financial literacy and financial inclusion. And we're promoting consumers' rights. It's all about the consumer. It's shifting. It's not just about the big boys and the owners of capital. It's about us who need capital. I had the opportunity to meet students actually who are all engaged in their home economics class. And growing up, we get told that the standard professions you need to be are a lawyer, doctor, accountant, and whatnot. But an entrepreneur is an important profession, and we need to empower our entrepreneurs. So when you have a young 17-year-old or 14-year-old, they need to understand about how to make their business work. And we have to start teaching them, which is the point that Ms. McCain and JDIC are all speaking about here at this expo, financial literacy. How to get the information you need at the right time so that you can plan for your life, plan to open your own business, plan to acquire your home, plan to acquire other property, invest in the stock market, build a retirement fund, purchase insurance that meets your needs to protect you and your family. So we want empowered consumers. We want them to have easy access to information that helps them, information about financial services. We want more competition so that we can drive down the prices of getting financial services. We want more suitable products that actually meet the risk profile of the consumers. And we want to improve the ease of doing business, make it easier for you to actually become part of what we call a supply chain, an export chain. So that Team Jamaica, when you're here as an entrepreneur and you want to export your products to the diaspora in the United States, the UK, Canada, elsewhere, you have an easier time of getting into that trade show, an easier time of accessing capital to build your business, what we call angel financing, what we call venture capitalists. And we also want improved access to finance and markets. So colleagues, I know I'm standing between you and taking a little bit of a break, but we are here. Bank of Jamaica has been charged with coordinating this process. We are part of a broader team across GOJ. Every single person here, and we really have to big up and thank JDIC for having us here, every single booth represents an effort by the government of Jamaica to invest in improving financial inclusion and creating an inclusive economy. So we need you to give us feedback. Partner with us. Tell us what your pain points are. What do you want to see change? What you need more information about? Contact Bank of Jamaica at the National Financial Inclusion Technical Secretariat, and our team at Bank of Jamaica booth right there will be happy to answer any questions you have on financial inclusion, on credit oversight, as well as the Office of Consumer Complaints is right there in the same booth, and we are ready, willing, and able to assist you further. Thank you so much for your time.